Let's be honest, UFC 4 is not Salvatore Mundi. What I mean by that is UFC 4 is not a masterpiece. In fact, it's far from a masterpiece. UFC 4 is more like the Potato Jesus painting. The intentions behind it are good and genuine, but the execution turned out horrible. UFC 4 is the Potato Jesus painting to me. It's famous for all the wrong reasons. And in this video, we'll be talking about those things that give UFC 4 a bad rep. So sit back, relax, spark a joint up, whilst I trash all over UFC 4. Let's do this. First things first. The lead director for UFC 4 needs to be fired immediately and replaced by me, right? The reason for this is the lead director, not only did the lead director approve a lot of bottom tier ideas for UFC 4, but also came up with a lot of bottom tier ideas for UFC 4. One of those bottom tier ideas that got approved was the removal of UFC Ultimate Team. UFC 3's Ultimate Team was more trash than a Smoke Perp album.
I got a motherfucking boner.
But instead of admitting what you did wrong and fixing your own mistakes and listening to what the fans wanted in UFC Ultimate Team, instead EA decided to remove it completely from the game. EA treated Ultimate Team like those extra bits of ice cubes that fall from the fridge. You know when you're at the fridge and you're making a glass of squash and some ice cubes fall on the floor, you know, you've pressed it way too many times and now there's a bunch of ice cubes on the floor. But instead of doing the right thing and picking them up and putting them in the bin, instead you just kick them under the fridge, like out of sight, out of mind kind of mindset. That's what EA did with Ultimate Team. They just kicked it under the metaphorical fridge and hoped people would forget about it and everything will be fine. The thing is, EA don't like hard work. They want the easiest route to the most money as possible, right? So whatever makes them the most money with as little time as possible and as little effort as possible, they want to go down that road, right? And to be honest, it's not a bad mindset, but when it comes to making video games, it's a terrible mindset. I could have told EA what was wrong with UFC 3's Ultimate Team over a cup of tea and a bite to eat, right? So that would have cost you maximum £3 for that information, but instead they just removed it. Instead it was like, nah, we can't be bothered, let's just remove it from the game. I could have told them that UFC 2's Ultimate Team was perfect in my eyes and all they needed to do was implement that kind of Ultimate Team in UFC 4 and improve upon it, and there you go, you got a hit game mode. But instead they just said, nah, we'll remove it, which was a bottom tier decision. Now with this extra time EA found themselves having, seeing as they're not developing Ultimate Team, you would think that they would use this time to maybe improve other game modes like Ranked Championship maybe, but they didn't. Welcome gamers to UFC 4. Remember all that freedom you had in UFC 3 where you was able to choose what weight class you wanted to fight in? Well, like the dodo bird, that feature has officially been extinct. Now in UFC 4, you will fight in whatever weight class we tell you to fight in. And if you don't like it, tough, because you'll have to wait a whole hour before the next weight class is open. This is the ultimate UFC 4 experience. This ad was brought to you by EA. EA, ruining MMA games one game at a time. Buy it now and get Steve Hawking as a playable character. Ranked Championships is horrible. It's a horrible game mode, right? From not being able to back out of fights sometimes before they start, to being forced to fight in a set weight class, to there being no octagon walk no matter the occasion, whether it's just a 3-round bout or a title fight, to there being no championship rounds in a title fight. This game mode just simply ain't it. It's far from it, Chief, right? This is the furthest thing from God possible. It should be a felony. It should be a felony to mess up something so bad. The fact that there are no championship rounds in lower divisions, no option to choose your own weight class, no option to turn off fighting against created fighters, the fact that it's only 3 fights to win a belt instead of 5, the fact that there's no Bruce Buffer intros no matter the occasion, all these things make for a terrible online experience when playing ranked championships. I don't get how you mess up something so bad. You have to intentionally want to mess this up. You can't take something that works in UFC 3, say, okay, let's just copy and paste that in UFC 4, and then mess it up. You've got to intentionally want to mess it up. That's what I'm trying to say. This was an inside job, right? I've got my tinfoil hat on, and I want you guys to work with me on this theory, but I'm pretty sure EA did this on purpose. I'm pretty sure they messed this game up game mode up on purpose. Because you can't ruin it. It's hard to ruin something that works and people liked in UFC 3, paste it into UFC 4 and ruin it. It's hard to do that, but EA did that. Playing UFC 4's ranked championships is about as fun as chewing glass that's covered in Marmite. The amount of bottom tier decisions made for one game mode is actually amazing. I'm being serious. It amazes me how bad they've managed to mess it up. I don't really get it. Like, ranked championships is a bigger mess than Nick Avocado at this point. I just don't get how you mess it up so bad. Why do we have to be in Division 15 to fight in championship rounds? Why can we not choose our own weight class to fight in? These are questions that even Socrates himself cannot answer. Why does my belt sometimes appear and disappear? Why can't I change my shorts? Why was this game even made? Why did UFC sign another 10-year deal with EA? These are questions that need answering immediately. Ranked is simply awful. I would go as far as to say that Ranked actually needs to be removed from UFC 4. I'd much rather watch Slaughterhouse documentaries on loop whilst doing a McDonald's mukbang than ever play another Ranked match. That's just me being honest. Stamina. In UFC 4, it's actually harder to lose your stamina than it is to keep it. You can throw 16,000 wombo bombo combos and 4,000 cartwheel kicks with an extra 2,000 spinning Michael Jackson back fist, and your fighter will just be a little bit out of breath, like they've just run up and down the stairs. Just a light sweat, you know, nothing too major. Why could I give out more jabs than Pfizer, right? Why can I throw more straights out than a gear bar? And yet I still suffer no consequences in terms of stamina. Like, I don't lose a little bit of stamina for all these different combos I'm trying. Why is it by the third round I still have 70% of my stamina even though I spammed more kicks than a drummer? Why is that a thing? UFC 3's stamina system to me was perfect. If you missed too many shots or threw too many shots or your transitions got denied too many times, then your fighter would be fatigued. If you couldn't get up from the ground and you kept spamming transitions in the previous round, then by the next round you would definitely feel it in terms of a drainage in stamina. The stamina system stopped people from spamming. The stamina system made people become more technical, and the stamina was actually a major factor to be considered when selecting a fighter in UFC 3. However, in UFC 4, that's just not the case. All you have to do to win a fight is simply spam jabs, straights and hooks until your opponent's block is completely broke like UFC 4, and then you can just simply KO your opponent. It's a foolproof strat. Forget watching Ricky J Sports and watching Martial Mind trying to play the game technically and set up shots and fake here and fake there and deny transition and fake deny there. Nah, forget all that. That's just a bunch of baloney. All you have to do to win is spam. Spam to win, right? Instead of UFC 4 being paid to win, it's spam to win. Stamina is a factor in UFC 4, but it's probably the least important factor to consider when fighting against someone. Stamina in UFC 4 is about as important as women's rights, which is not very important. Now, because I don't want this video to go on too long, I could rant about UFC 4 all day. I could rant about EA in general all day. I could make my entire channel based on EA and why they're so trash. I could, right? But for the sake of this video becoming too long, I'm gonna leave this part here. I will be doing a second part, and all you have to do to contribute to the second part is leave some things that you are not impressed with by UFC 4, or that's in UFC 4, sorry. Let me know some things that you hate about UFC 4, and I will include it, sorry, in part 2. Thank you all for watching. Everyone say hello to the new president, Porcupine. He's a great president, hopefully. Rest in peace, duck emoji, and I'm out. Bye.